We've all been there, right? You tell yourself you're just going to watch one quick video, and then boom, you look up and it's 3 hours later. If that sounds familiar, then this is for you. Today, we're going to break down a really practical 3-step guide to get your YouTube habit under control. And the best part is, you don't have to quit it completely. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about something called the YouTube illusion. Then we'll get into why just trying to quit cold turkey almost never works. And after that, we'll dive into the 3 steps: shifting your mindset, using a few simple digital tools, and finally, figuring out how to replace that old habit with something much better. All right, let's get right into it. What's the biggest thing standing in our way when it comes to a YouTube habit? Well, it's the story we tell ourselves about it. You know the one. We justify hours of scrolling because we call it educational. This slide just lays it out perfectly. There's this huge gap between why we say we're on YouTube and what's actually happening. We tell ourselves it's educational, but the reality is most of it is just filler. We think we're learning new skills, but so much of that time is completely unproductive. And maybe we don't think of it as social media, but the result is often the same: a whole lot of wasted time. And to really get a sense of how big of a deal this is, listen to this absolutely wild statistic from a TED Talk. It really puts into perspective how much of our actual free time, the time we have for ourselves, is just eaten up by screens. It's a real wake-up call. Yeah, let that number sink in for a second. 93%. When that much of your life's free time is going to be spent looking at a screen, getting a handle on a platform as addictive as YouTube isn't just a nice little productivity hack, it's absolutely essential. So when you see a number like that, your first thought might be, okay, that's it, I'm just quitting. But here's the thing, that common advice to just go cold turkey, it's actually a trap. Let's talk about why that all or nothing approach is pretty much designed to fail.
The problem is really simple. It's just too extreme. Going for a total ban ignores the fact that YouTube can be genuinely useful for some things. You shouldn't have to delete the entire platform just to get a few hours of your life back.
So the real trick is to recognize this split. On one side, you have the genuinely useful stuff. Looking up how to tie a tie or how to fix a leaky faucet. But on the other side, you've got this bottomless ocean of filler content that's designed to do one thing and one thing only: keep you watching. That's your homepage, your suggested videos, all of it. Okay, so if quitting isn't the answer, then what is? Well, that brings us to a much smarter, more realistic 3-step method. The whole idea here is to focus on being in control, not on total restriction.
It all boils down to these 3 things. First, we're going to change how we think about the content itself. Second, we'll use a couple of simple tools to change the platform's environment. And third, we're going to be deliberate about what we do with all that time we get back.
Let's start with step 1, because honestly, this is the most powerful piece of the puzzle. It's an internal change. It's about having this conscious realization that almost every single thing an algorithm pushes in front of your face is designed to steal your time, not to make your life any better. And here's the really sneaky part. It's easy to write off funny cat videos as a waste of time. But what about the stuff that feels productive? The podcast clips, the self-help videos. The tough truth is, even those rarely lead to any real, tangible change in your actions or your life. This quote just hits the nail on the head. We feel like we're being productive. We feel like we're learning something valuable, but we finish the video and we're the exact same person we were 10 minutes ago. It's just passive consumption dressed up to look like self-improvement. Realizing that is a huge first step. And this right here is the ultimate goal of the mindset shift. It's way more powerful than any app blocker because it cuts off the temptation right at the source. When you can look at a flashy thumbnail with a clickbait title and just feel nothing, that's when you know you've really won. All right, you've got the mindset on lock. Now it's time for your second line of defense. We're going to bring in some reinforcements, a couple of practical tools that can physically change the YouTube environment to make it way less addictive. We're going to look at 2 super powerful and completely free tools. For your computer, there's a browser extension called Untrap for YouTube. And for your phone, there's an app called ScreenZen. Both are designed to put you back in control. On your computer, Untrap is basically a surgical tool for distractions. You can hide the Shorts feed completely. Poof, it's gone. You can kill the infinite scroll on the homepage. You can turn off all the suggested videos and even the comments. You can even turn the whole site grayscale, which makes it way less appealing to your brain. It lets you carve away all the addictive junk. Now, for your phone, ScreenZen works by adding what's called intentional friction.
When you tap that YouTube icon, it forces you into an unskippable pause. You can set how long it is, and you can even have it display a custom message. The source actually suggested making it something insulting, just to really make you stop and think, wait, why am I opening this? And, crucially, it has a special powerful blocker just for YouTube Shorts.
Okay, so you've done the work. Your mindset is shifted. Your toolkit is in place. You suddenly have all this extra free time. Now for the final critical step. You have to be intentional about what you do with it. Because if you don't, you're just going to find another social media app to fill that void. And this is where the real payoff is. All that time you've reclaimed, you can invest it in things that actually make you a more interesting, skilled person. You can read a book, go for a walk, actually learn a new skill. You could even start creating something yourself instead of just consuming what everyone else makes. So let's end on this thought. This whole method isn't about depriving yourself. It's about liberating yourself. It's about consciously taking back your two most valuable resources, your time and your attention. So this method gives you your free time back, which leaves you with a much more exciting question to answer. How are you going to choose to spend it?